Hello, beloved. Can I ask a question? Why is waiting so hard? Psalm 27:14 makes the statement, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. In this time of the year, this most wonderful time of the year, just to be honest with you, waiting seems difficult. When I was a little boy, waiting was one of the most difficult tasks during this time of year because, like many of you, I had great expectation of what was to come. I knew that my parents had put some things that I desired in a box, wrapped it in some fancy paper that would be shredded on Christmas Day, and even placed a bow on top with my name on it. Having to wait to open it was difficult. But what if waiting was necessary, essential, and the very thing that we needed in our life? Today, I want to assure you that waiting has a purpose in our life. In fact, there are moments where God calls for us to actively wait on Him. Why? So that His plans and His perfect will can work in our favor. And while we might not understand why we have to wait, while it seems like our delay feels like a denial, God is responding to us, that He's working things all together for our good behind the scenes. And this is what's masterful about waiting, is that I believe that waiting produces patience. It helps us to learn how to manage long suffering, but it also gives us the strength we need to endure. And so therefore, whatever it is that you're going through in this season of your life, I want to encourage you to wait, to trust in God, to place your hope in Him, and learn that He will never leave you or forsake you. While it feels like your waiting is in vain, I can assure you that God is working things out for your good. In this season of the year, where, as I'll continue to suggest, that we have to wait in traffic, wait in long lines, and even have to wait for the things we desire on Christmas Day, waiting has its benefit. It teaches us how to trust in God, but also rely on Him. Waiting is a part of the biblical narrative. Abraham and Sarah had to wait for a child. Moses had to wait to lead the people that God desired him to lead. Joseph had to wait for his dreams to come into fruition. Israel had to wait for Emmanuel to come into this world. Waiting is a part of God's plan. If it's possible, I would like to share a story with you. There's a story that goes as following of this couple who was in the process of buying a house. And while they were waiting for their closing day, they discovered that their closing day would be just a couple of days before Christmas. While they show up to the attorney's office, they learn in that moment that their closing costs and expenses would be a little bit more than they expected. Therefore, they had to tap into their Christmas fund that they'd saved for their children so that they could be able to buy the house that provided space for them. The next day, they decide to go and purchase the things that they need, the essentials, like some furniture for their new house, to buy clothes for their children, but also make sure that their children had the school supplies as they prepared for the next semester. And so when Christmas Day comes and the children are all excited, to be in their new home, they expect these gifts that they had given their parents on their list. And while the older children became comfortable with just opening up the things that their parents provided, understanding how things did not necessarily turn out financially the way the parents desired, the young boy became more and more discouraged as he opened up gift after gift. As a pair of socks, a pair of pants, a shirt for school, a pair of boots, and even a winter coat. He was looking for, that toy we all wait for. Nevertheless, his father did not want to disappoint his son. And so the father gives the son this final package. The little boy becomes excited, rips it to shreds. And as he opens it up, it's one of those $5 rubber basketballs that you can get at almost any store that they're just trying to make that extra buck from. The little boy, as he sees the ball, he starts to toss the ball, dribble the ball with the greatest grin on his face. And his older siblings are confused and puzzled because they knew what he had placed on that list, and that basketball was not one of those things. And so one of the older siblings went to the brother and said, "Man, I see you got this basketball. Why are you so excited? What caused this to bring such great joy in your life?" And the little boy, he looked at his older sibling and said, "Last year I was waiting for my parents to buy the house because they promised me if they brought a new house, they would give me my own bedroom. And today, as I stand in this house tossing this ball, what I waited for last year came into fruition. I know today that as I toss this ball, dribble the ball, and play with the ball, that if I wait long enough, my Father will eventually provide me with a goal that I can shoot the ball and I can score." Waiting is a part of the plan. In this season of your life, I want to ask you the question, what are you waiting for? Do you trust and believe that the Father will provide it if you wait long enough? Do you trust and believe that God will do just what His Word has promised He will perform? Because I can assure you, if you learn how to wait on the Lord, that God has a way of working all things together for our good. In fact, waiting requires us to have hope in which we cannot see. That is faith. Waiting causes us to produce great faith, great trust, and great assurance. In this season, I want to encourage you while you wait to learn how to trust in the Lord with all your heart, not lean to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and I can assure you He will direct your path. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He will strengthen your heart. What I want to leave you with is that waiting does take courage, because waiting takes a courage that in the moments that we feel like we can do it on our own, we have to learn how to trust that God is strong enough. In the moments that we perceive that we can handle it, we have to learn how to give it to the Lord and trust that He will come through. In our waiting, we must learn how to have faith, how to have trust, but also how to have courage to rely on God. And just like that little boy who was willing to wait for the basketball goal, we too must be willing to wait on God to show up in our life and also to give us everything He has promised. This Christmas, be happy, comfortable, waiting. God bless you. And may the Lord continue to smile and shine upon you.